I'm extremely pleased that Moody's has recognized the Antelope Valley East Kern Water Agency as being very protective of the public's assets, and acknowledged that in the form of raising our credit rating, so that in the future, if we need to borrow any money, we will be able to do so at a lower rate.
And I understand that this increase in rating comes from many years of evaluation, not just your national award or...
That's correct. Moody's is a large, well-respected credit rating agency, and they conduct a very thorough analysis of every entity for which they rate. And over several years, they've recognized the fact that the Antelope Valley East Kern Water Agency has done a good job of managing the public's resources.
Well, Dias doesn't impress me as an Irish name, and you've heard of the luck of the Irish. And here during your presidency, you have a national award and a Moody increase. That's a stepping stone to higher office, maybe.
Just a coincidence. I just happened to be at the helm when these good things occurred.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Also in here is the second thing, which is B2, is we discussed upcoming events that we would want to participate at. And the fair, we did not feel we weren't going to booth at the fair. However, LA County Waterworks is having a booth at the fair this year. They got a grant from somebody to put in a booth. And so they're putting a booth in, and so we will probably have some things for them to have in their booth, a few giveaways or drought posters or things like that. So it's really nice.
They get grant money to do some things.
They got a marketing agency right now to do all this stuff. So that was kind of a quick update of what happened, and so I will move on order 6B2 to participate in to salute to youth, which we've done for many years. It's a career day for the high schools, and it's been a good event for 20-some odd years.
Awesome. Is there any cost involved?
Nothing I'm aware of. Just staff time.
Okay. So basically it'll be like tables throughout the whole fairgrounds, different all this employment. And the kids come up.
I want to be an operator. What does it take to be an operator? So we have kind of a job description on what it takes to, what education it takes to be an operator, trainee, or whatever. It's been years since I've been to Salute to Youth, but it used to be set up into like health sciences, construction, environmental sciences. They had pathways, and then you would go to a pathway that might be 10 services there that are getting out information on jobs and what they need to do. This is 8th and 9th graders, even 9th graders, so they can prepare high school classes at life.
I have another question. What does it cost to go? What does it cost to get the operator's license? Roughly, you go to college and get it.
Well, you don't have to go to college to get it. You can just take the T2 test. The application for the test, and if you pass the certificate, you're probably looking at about $400.
Is that for both of them?
That would get you a treatment license, entry-level treatment license.
Would you hire somebody at that level?
We're kind of requiring that they come in with a T2.
Just only one license?
Treatment first. We require a distribution, but treatment is the premium license. That gets you in the door.
So let me ask you a question from your committee. If we set a standard, minimum GPA in high school, that we have scholarship money or whatever to help these kids out when they're going to high school, in their senior year, they take this test. You know, we select, I don't know how many you want to give out, whatever it is. Just don't let's make a discussion now, that we pay for this, for these kids. And by doing that, it gives them an opportunity to, one, encourage them to keep the grade point average, good students, but two, most kids don't have $500 they'll blow on something like that. Three, it gives all the water companies in the area who are customers an opportunity to pull from this pool for employment. So it's really something we could do. It's not a lot of money, but I think it shows goodwill and good faith to the community. So it's just something I think we should take a look at.
That kind of leads the question on where they get the knowledge to pass those tests.
You can do online study courses, you can take a college class. Cal State Sacramento has a great mail order class you can take. So there's many ways you can get that knowledge. The state will send you a range of knowledge, things you have to know to take the test, but you don't need any previous experience to take the T2. So that's a good thing about it.
And that's something you guys, the committee, can talk about. Maybe there's some, there's expense there. Maybe it's more than $500. Maybe it's going to be an $800 scholarship. It's just something to think about.
The college here, AVEK, Antelope Valley's, I'm wrong. ABC has 2 classes or 3 classes of water technology. One is the math class. One is a distribution class. It's taught by a couple of the workers from Common Water District. And so that class has been in there. And so just to kind of go a little bit different direction. The college, 2 years ago, I believe it was, came forward and they got a grant to turn that into a full water science program. They asked for our assistance, and they said, you get assist by these computers, a few things like that. We were going to financially, we were going to supply tools or anything like that. So that program is at the ABC, which we say our local people will stay here local and find work here local. So I don't know if there's something, great idea. I just
Look at it. Because when we go to conventions, they give awards to these different water agencies throughout the state of California, Aqua, whatever. And one of the biggest things they look at are these type of scholarships they offer to these kids, whatever it is. It'd be a great opportunity to take these kids who have a hard time for employment to retain these people for our Antelope Valley. And I just, it's just something thinking outside the box. So I just thought I want to throw that out there.
Is that something for the water, public information committee?
Let's use the public.
With our budget coming, with the agency's budget coming up, with the water rates coming up, I wanted, the committee agreed to bring forward that we need to think about whether we need to have a standing line item budget of conservation in our overall budget. The last 2 years, if we look at water sales, we're probably been close to $5 an acre foot cost going into these cash for grass and other budgets that we've had to do. So it's not huge, but it's a good number to think about. And so whether we have a line item, something in there that says, we've done $200,000 for the last couple of years. The first year we didn't spend all of it. The second year we're rolling it over and are going to spend the rest of it. Some goes for cash for grass, some goes for the expo, other activities that we've been doing. And so we really want to make it, it's getting significant enough that I think it's something that should be included in our budget.
As a line item.
As a line item. And the committee can have some kind of control over that. Most of the items would still come back to the whole board for approvals, but the committee could work on that. The recommendation coming from the committee is $100,000, which is less than what we've been doing, and 10% of future water, enterprise water.
We need 10%.
So, how would we create a good way to pay back the community for water? 10% of net revenue from any type of enterprise sales back to conservation. So that fund grows as our enterprise acres.
$10 million sale, we put $1 million in the account. And so what would you do that $1 million?
Spread it out and give our customers conservation and then conservation since we do more conservation we have in the valley, the better it is for all of our agencies and communities as well.
I've got questions about that. We have the $100,000 fixed amount. We know what that is, but this is an indeterminate amount. But we'll have to pay people back. I mean, pay the whole community back. The idea of the enterprise is to make money so your water rates are less. And so everybody shares if you receive the money from enterprise banking and your taxes are less. That is paying the community back. That's what we're trying to do that and have a program with a finite amount. That's one thing, but have something at infinity, that's another. I think we're going. I don't know if we want to go that direction. And the idea of paying the community back, I think that's what you're going to do. You're going to pay a few people back in the community. So I think on that, I just don't think that stands out.
What if it's everybody except before?
What a broken letter that's in here.
George, my response is through income, this water, this water, it adds to our resources. And then the conservation dollars adds to the resources within our own valley as far as the water needs and water savings. So if our customers are saving this year somewhere up to 32-35% of their water needs, I think they should get some type of direct benefit from that valley-wide. And I understand you say a few, but I think, we look at what next in the big way, and their view is that their conservation programs are saving huge amounts of money. And they're putting huge amounts of budget. And that's not what I'm asking to do. But I think if we tie the conservation budget to funds coming in, new funds coming in, then that would be a good way to do it. And I would not sit here and say we should budget $1 million for conservation. I'm not saying that would be a bad idea. But I'm saying we take a new revenue source that comes from conservation partially and push that back into conservation dollars into our lives.
We're seeing conservation, pricing increases, and we're seeing tremendous conservation over what we had a number of years ago. And it needs to be for everyone, not a few. So we need to come up with a program. In fact, what the enterprise was talking about. So it would benefit the whole agency. Whatever benefits the agency benefits the individuals. Rather than that, tier we charge for now is we've been on the tax bill since the 1970s. At one time, AVEK was the largest item on the property tax bill, and a lot of people making parts of the Antelope Valley, they help subsidize the water users. And those people probably never get paid back. And so some water districts, I think it's WD or the kind of Department of Water and Power, they charge the water rate pays for everything. And here you've got a tax rate that pays for a lot, and made it possible for the people to receive cheap AVEK water. So there's already a big subsidy at the cost of people that have no chance for receiving the water. So we need to look, rather than subsidizing more, we need to look at what benefits the entire agency. And that concept you're talking about benefits a few.
Well, I think conservation benefits everyone, and focus on conservation benefits everyone.
Maybe this is not the place, but we can agree to disagree.
No.
I don't know if this is the place to, we're not going to further.
George, my comment was, I'm not trying to put steam out of Rob's, but his idea of 10% of the net, it's a $10 million sales, that's gross. Net's gonna be $1 million, depending on what things are put into that cost, so you're down back to $100,000. So it's not,
We'll find that out, but
Yeah.
anyway, I think that's, I mean, we're not there yet, so.
Well, it's an interesting concept, and it needs more discussion. Fortunately, I don't think that we need to make a decision in this year's budget regarding enterprise projects. Because the projects that will generate revenue probably won't be generated that much.
Can I make a
We
comment?
still got one heck of a lot, what our costs are, what we're trying to accomplish, what we're trying to, pay for. Anything that we can use, revenues versus debt, we're gonna be way ahead of the long run. It's gonna help the agencies and the taxpayers. Any debt will end up paying that two for one, if not more than that. So I think we're a long ways off, a long ways off. Just any revenue that we generate needs to be put in our capital, facilities or paying for those capital facilities rather than going into the bond market. And a lot of agencies, a lot of cities, they've went to the bond market, and a lot of them have very poor ratings, or they can't meet their obligations. And so what we've done in the past, we've been very good at it, and that's why we're getting a good bond rating. But I think we need to keep on that positive scale. Is if we generate revenue, let it pay back debt. If we ever get to the point that we're completely debt free and we don't have obligations, and what are we going to do with this excess revenue? Then that might be the time we're talking about it, but not when we still have bond, not when we're still taxpayers are paying for bond issues we done decades ago. We're talking about new bonds, new assessments to pay for the future development. So we're a long ways off a good bit to do that procedure with good business practices. We don't want to carry debt paid off 2 to 1 and be having our grandkids paying for the projects we're doing now. So that again, that's we discussed that later.
Development, groundwater projects and so forth, a lot of opportunities. I'm going to turn it over to Dwayne and Ben. I think they've got a short presentation before we kind of lay out what the possibilities are.
The only preface I'll put on the presentation is that to highlight the fact that if the board wishes to pursue any or all of these projects that are going to be identified in Ben's presentation, then we would suggest that the board authorize staff to prepare an implementation plan that we can bring back to the board. So exactly how do we go about doing that, the consultants that we need to assist us in performing those types of items.
So
That would be the action.
This is an informational item,
Right.
but we would like board input on these so that we can kind of come back and work on them.
And where's this grant money coming from?
This is Proposition 1, state bond or state proposition initiative that was for water projects approved last year.
Yeah. I can get it out. I wasn't planning, as you can see, there's a lot of small print on this spreadsheet, and I wanted to just hit a few points on this big spreadsheet. But this is a summary of the different categories or chapters they follow, because we're part of the water bond, Proposition 1, and there's different allocations, and there might be wastewater, recycling, and there's also allocation based on a fiscal year. So it was over $7 billion, I think, the bond issue. It's not being all allocated in the fiscal year, the same fiscal year. So the state has divided it up into different categories depending on where you're at. What that applies to some. What we did with this, and this is something that our company uses to track the different type of
Yeah, is this, is this what people have turned in for, or what's,
Well, they will be turning in for that.
like Baldwin Hills Conservancy, it's already been paid, or?
Well, it's just different ages. Some of these have been paid, and that doesn't mean they're gonna get it. They're still gonna have to apply for it. I don't think any of these funds say they just get them automatically. They're gonna have to submit application for them. Some are designated for certain things. And what I was trying to show you, a lot of different categories. What we put together here in our PowerPoint is where we think that you have the best chance to apply. Well, of course, it was in your agenda, as far as the PowerPoints, and, you know, follow on that, you can.
It looks like a lot of it's already spoken for.
Well, it's designated, but they still have to apply for it. And if they can't show that they're gonna use it in a beneficial way, it doesn't mean they get the money. It's not an automatic thing that you get X amount of money.
Well, then,
Just put together. You didn't divide it up like that.
So what
You're in
is-
here for like the integrated regional management plan. There is Manhattan south and north, and there's a certain amount of money that you get to put in for, you know, for the Antelope Valley, whichever project. And we'll talk about that later. Go ahead, Craig.
So, this money's been allocated to these different agencies. We have to go to these individual agencies to apply for grant money from them?
Yes,
Within our, you just said north and south,
that's
Manhattan,
one of
right?
it. And we're gonna talk, but there's some
But,
others
no, I'm
too.
just trying to get a picture in my head. Is that what it is?
There's gonna be different application processes that the entities will have to go through to show that they're worthy of this grant money. So what's their project? What benefit does it have to conserve water or whatever the different?
And this has nothing to do with the governor's pulling out grass or, you know, anything like that? Is there anything in here about
Well,
that?
we're gonna get that one too, and that's in there. Some cash
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up, I've been told that we've already been identified, Antelope Valley, to receive money through grant. I'm just trying to find out,
There is chapter 7, which we talked about, that's designated for some cash for grass, and some money in there that you can apply for.
so on these particular agencies, who would we apply to?
I think most of them is gonna be well, it'll all be state agency, it could be Department of Water Resources, it could be the State Water Resources
But we would
Control Board.
apply to some of these we see here,
Yeah, and that's
so
what
they
we'll
have
talk.
allocated it and they parcel that money out, is that correct?
Right, and you have to compete. So
George, one of the things that might help a little bit is that each of these chapters are associated with a proposition. And written in that chapter in the law that was passed by the state is the agency that's going to administer those funds and how it's some of the allocations. So that's why you see, when you see a chapter 5 or 6 or 7, it corresponds to the proposition and how it was written and approved by the voters on the ballot. So that's kind of how some of this goes, and that's how they kind of formulated that proposition so that certain monies went in certain areas of the state for certain particular purposes. And we can apply for any of those, but our projects seem to fit certain chapters and certain sections. And that's what Ben's going to highlight is he's done a review to see, based on our projects, which chapters of the proposition would best fit the criteria for application.
Yeah.
Without jumping the gun, chapter 7, wouldn't that come through our integrated regional water plan and that group and not us?
Well, agreed. I mean,
And they actually, I mean, we spent money last time we were planning, but they have it as part of their services, I thought.
so there's news source, another round.
just to comment on what Dwayne said, in fact, I've been told, at least on this particular bond issue, this is one of the first ones where there wasn't a lot of designated projects in the bond issue. A lot of these previous ones that they've had, they've already got projects designated in the actual bond issue. So the money, so many millions going to this project. This one, my understanding from what I'm told, is all open for competition, which is one of the first times that's ever happened for this kind of sizable bond issue. It's all open for competition. Anyway, so what I want to show, there's all these different chapters in here that were in the bond law, certain chapters, and these are the ones that are underlined. Chapter 5, that's 254 million, that's one. But we think there's projects that we have that could fit in that category, that we could be competitive with other entities that are submitting.
First project.
I got it, just wait. So chapter 6 doesn't really fit for our projects. Chapter 7, which is part of that integrated regional water management plan. They did divide it up in north and south. We would have to work within our integrated regional group to see which is project that really support, that they support. So when we submit, we got to have their support also. Just like we did on the Prop 84 funds that we did out on our West Side Water Bank, we got support from the integrated regional group. They supported our project, so when we turned in our application, that was part of our application. Another chapter, chapter 8, is part of the water storage investment. This is a big one. This has got like $2.6 billion in there. It's one that they've got some other big projects, you know, like we heard, certain storage for the public benefit, the whole state, sites, reservoir. But there's extra money in there that could be, you know, we don't need $1 billion for our project. We need something less than that, so we could still possibly fund it.
Why couldn't we work with Edwards to get the chapter 10 money because of the societies they have issues and things there that they could, that money could go out into our well fields to help pay for our systems.
Now, the chapter 10, this is how it's written for now, the groundwater sustainability, really looks at water degradation. We're going to clean it up and make it usable. So if there is a project like it right now, we're just looking at our projects that doesn't fit because our water, while we do some treatment, it's not
The county can use this to clean up those arsenic wells.
possible. You know, that would fit. Something that right now is not usable, if you're going to clean it up and be able to use that water. So you
Do
get
we have any wells with higher arsenic in them that we use that USGS report we used over there on that site where we used to take the water out, put it in the ground and filtered it and lower the levels?
Yeah, we have some definite high arsenic.
Well, why can't we use something, get some of that money for our other ones?
That's a possibility. We look at ones, you know, what's our best chance? I think not impossible. So and that's one of the things that you're going to have to decide. We want to provide information on it. What's your best shot? You may not want to put applications on, say, 4 different type of chapters because they're not cheap to put together. They're going to want to pull. You know, just remember the Prop 84 one that we went for, it ended up being 2 inches thick. It took a lot of effort to get. So you're going to have to look at them, figure what's our best shot on any of these chapters and getting money. So we looked at, you know, what are the possible projects that we think would be a good opportunity. You know, this one's pretty good. This is a pipeline that goes from 80th Street West and Avenue H, pumping it up to towards Hill Treatment Plant. You know, that's pretty close to being shovel ready. You got a pump station you haven't been awarded yet. Anyway, a good project that's very close to being shovel ready. The governor looks for that and has to get the money out. And so that's one that's, I think, got a pretty good shot. Another one, this is their enterprise water bank. A new acronym turnout. You have some recharge extraction facilities, you got distribution pipelines, pump stations, depending on how you're moving it through. So that's a good project too. What about grass? It's in the chapter 7. Didn't really identify too much in this big spreadsheet, but that's another one that's out there. Again, you may want to put that together in your integrated regional plan group as the whole Antelope Valley going for catch and grass. And that's a decision later. We're just trying to point out something, different projects that we think will work as far as good applications. So So these are the ones, again, same projects, we just tried to put some of these chapters on them. So if you recall, 5, 7, 8, these are some of the ones that we think that would fit and have a good chance of being funded. West Side Water Bank, Enterprise, same thing, 5, 7, and 8. Those are all options. Chapter 7 is the only one that has those caps for grass and sand, so that's the only one that work there. So we looked at this as these are some projects that have a good chance of being funded. But again, it's got to compete with other people, so we got to do some things that can give you points of how they rate these, very similar to the property before they go through each section. It's set up in the guidelines and they give you points. How you rank on the points, you get money. You may not get everything that you asked for, but you get a portion that you read on the property. Before we asked for $6 million, we ended up with $5.4 million. So sometimes we down to 8, sometimes. That's my summary on it. You think?
And you know, as the board is aware, to go through the effort to apply for this really takes a considerable amount of effort, staff time, money to prepare the applications and those things. And we thought, from a staff point of view, we want to give you this outline to give you an idea of what we think might be possible to see if the board wanted to proceed and move forward before any significant amount of time or expense was expended on these possible grant opportunities.
I think we definitely want to pursue possible reward beats the risk.
Some of the guidelines are out there for some of these different chapters, some are not. Some of the others workshops going on, so it's just an ongoing evolution of how all this is going to be put together. But it's not too early to make a decision and try to figure out where you're going to go. There's a lot of people looking at them and putting their plan together, how they're going to go after it.
I would think chapter 7 would come from the integrated regional water plan. It's already identified the top 25, 30 projects. And I think our Smith project is like 1 or 2 on the team. That's this phase 2. I think 1 or 2 of that project already, on that list already. But I think chapter 7 would come, since there is no guidelines yet, I would guess that would come through that integrated regional water plan.
Yeah, and that group has to really look at which ones are going to be successful. And then we may not really want to learn which are the ones that are actually going to get enough points in their submitted. I think it's fun.
My comment would be is I think this is a lot of projects that need to sit down with the projects. Or this will hold more to by itself.
Oh, well, I think staff is just asking if we should proceed to the next step, which could be what?
Spend money.
And all projects.
Well, what we would anticipate doing is putting together the beginnings of an implementation plan, looking into each one of these a little more carefully with Ben and giving an idea of what we think it's going to cost, the timing that it's going to take, the amount of consultants and others that we may need to hire to help us prepare those, and just provide you some more information. And then ultimately it'll have to be worked through a committee that's your choice to work through that and to get into provide some timelines of when these applications have to be in, the kind of effort that's going to be necessary in order to accomplish these tasks that we've done, and make sure that we meet all that criteria. And we can get we don't want to go through the expense if we don't have a real good shot at getting funded. We want to make sure that Ben's folks can go through that criteria, make sure we're checking off all the points and doing a good job to be able to do that. That's part of that implementation plan.
Water supply, allocation did not go up, it's still 20%. Coralville is at 45% of the historical average, San Luis is 23 or 53, so there's continuing to slide a little bit. Oh, that's a picture of the Oroville Marina. Actually, it gets low enough to where they have to rappel down to get to the marina, and they have reservoir conditions. Again, Oroville at 45% and San Luis at 53%. This is 8-station index. Again, just a little bit, and creeping up just a little bit, thunderstorms and so forth. Most of those storms that came through, hit us really hit Southern California more than much of northern. They got some moisture in central Sierras and so forth, but it goes too far north.
Yeah, but 3 inches of hail in Tahoe after the storm.
Oh, is that right?
Interstate 80 was closed and they had 3 inches of hail.
Well, the positive thing is Southern California, the demand has shrunk for a week.
Yeah.
So then,
No,
that's what we charge.
in fact, we've seen our demands drop off a little bit. We thought this wet weekend actually affected demands. This is again, the green here. But this is the 3-month outlook for NOAA. So basically, again, Southern California being above average, Northern California kind of being equal chance of above and below. Again, this is 3 months out, so it's pretty far out there. I think I showed you this one last time. This is a strong El Nino, and what the theory is right now is that it's the El Nino versus the blob, and the El Nino, you get a jet stream with stormier conditions in Southern California, and there's a big blob that's kind of off the coast of Canada there, and it forms a ridge, a high pressure ridge, and that's what sometimes diverts the storms and pushes them around California. So that's what they're saying, if you get a medium El Nino, that the blob will kind of push everything away from California. But if you get a good strong one, which looks like what we're getting, it'll overcome that. That blob is it's a high temperature, basically in that off the coast of Washington and Canada, BC. So, but again, we're still out a ways. But they are seeing more moisture. I mean, July was a pretty wet wet month for Southern California. This is Oroville storage, again, just kind of a steady decline on Oroville storage. San Luis again, dark blue is state project share, not declining quite as fast as the Euro share. Operations, Quartz Hill, you'll notice it's slipped a little bit. Quartz Hill is a 10 NGD, Roseman is at 8, and that's from the ag wells. East side is 2.5 MGD, a little bit through the Palmdale connection, and again, the water, the extractions are still, we got 96th Street and we have 13 MGD coming out of the West Bank. We did have, some interesting things over that weekend where we had electrical storm strike, we had lightning strikes, we had several transformers that were affected. There was no interruption in service, but we did have some challenges operationally. I know I'll have John kind of touch on anything that
Yeah, just a lot of, instrumentation is not made to withstand lightning strikes. So we probably had about $20,000 worth of damaged instrumentation. Thankfully, though, we were able to run things in manual. We had the manpower to do it. No customers were interrupted. We're slowly getting things back where they were. We had a lot of spare parts available, so made it through okay.
Was that damage that it was lightning?
Yeah, we had direct strike at the Mojave pump, at the Mojave tank farm, and at the Roseman treatment plant. And it messed up a lot of stuff. Made it through.
And the east side extractions should be online in August, so we're hoping to get those up and running. Water quality remains good. Bromide's a little high, so we're adjusting our treatment, but it's something we can handle as far as ozone and so forth. Organic's a little higher, but DHM's results are still good. So we're watching water quality, but we're definitely meeting all our standards and our goals. State Water Project, got a meeting with Metropolitan on an exchange program. next month, and we have an East Branch contractors meeting in August. Where we again talk about exchanges and cooperation on the East Branch. You remember a couple of months ago we were talking about going to Moody's and talking to them about upgrading. Michael Engelbrecht recommended not going there because Moody's is getting pretty punitive with a lot of water agencies. During this dry cycle, they were throwing everybody under the bus. We didn't ask for this review, but they notified us that they were reviewing it. They looked at our numbers, had a follow-up phone call where we responded to some questions, but basically the AVEK story is a pretty good one. If you look through the report, you know, the board, as I think George mentioned, it's not just a one-time deal. It's the fact that the board's not afraid to raise rates when you need to. You're working on a strategic plan, you watch your reserves, you've done transfers, and I think the AVEK story is a really good one for this time. You know, this dry season, there's a lot of agencies that are really hurting financially or water supply. I think you're well positioned. So I think that really helped out, and Moody's was convinced. Great. Budget development, we've kind of talked about that a little bit tonight, but we're looking for, the staff has kind of worked up a draft budget just to kind of start the ball rolling, but we do need to have a workshop and kind of walk through it and identify items and so forth for the budget this coming month. Solar energy proposals, you know, as you know, every once in a while we get some proposals, you know, for solar energy to put at our plants and so forth. It's been a little while, and the Alternative Energy Committee is looking at a couple of those proposals. My schedule, I'm in this week. I'm in Sacramento on Friday, adjudication on Monday and Tuesday next week. And I do have project status update.
We should see water out of that project here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Avenue H is also continuing to progress well. The last of the pipe is going to go into the ground here in the next week and a half. And we should have pumps and motors out there within the next 3 weeks. So both projects will be most likely producing some sort of water here by the end of August. And then phase 2, the well driller is getting ready to mobilize out there, working with them on their insurance requirements, bonding and everything. And they're expected to start drilling out there somewhere around August 15th. And then if there's no other questions, that's pretty much it. Any questions?
Our pipe is steel pipe, so we look at the drawings ahead of time, we put something on the plans, and then we require the contractor to pothole everything before he fabricates. So what he does, he calls out all the utilities, they mark where everything is, and then he fabricates his pipe. In this particular one, when the county came back, I think when we were right there at the intersection, so we forgot about it, it was about 20 feet of pipe. It's right where your pipe's going to go. And of course, our pipe's all fabricated, and you can see it there. Black is where our pipeline is going to go. Black line. We had to put where the blue line is, which means we had to go under some other pipe, and we rust block here. We had to go over. We also had to modify our steel pipe, shorten it, and make it through uneven alignment. So that's what this is reflected in item 1, $10,066. We got a lot of negotiation and keep track of the time. The contractors pays on it. So you did have extra effort, there's no doubt about it. So we did about as good as we can as far as getting the price down. So that's what that's all about. The next one, we're excited. These are services. You see that blue arrow down here? We put all the services on the drawing. There's a couple, I guess there's 3 that are unidentified. So he comes in the latest pipe, he doesn't know about it, when he would break them or whatever, because he doesn't know that they're there and they're very small. So he had to do some, contractor had to either go under them, move them out of the way, or do something with them work with the county. So that's what $861 is. It's not a lot, and very small, but something extra that he didn't have in his bid. item 3 had to do some work. They had to expose some backfill, they had it open, and then a contract was supposed to be, so we did work, and there was extra effort for him, so it wasn't this fall. So we did request money on that one. This is right at the entrance to the east side water treatment plant, underneath the asphalt, right at the entrance. It was 12 inches thick of concrete that no one knew about, that he had to dig out of there to get his pipe, so he had some extra effort. Not a lot, $232 worth. We asked for that, and that's justified. So these are all items that we kept track of, time-wise, effort. We had to do welding or whatever they had to do to make it work. The total was $12,136.32. So we recommend one or two applications.
It's the other way around, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're in trouble either way.
Either way. And while they marked some of them, that one they didn't. And they didn't even know about it. They had to.
But it was running with this.
Well, we would have fabricated the pipe, we probably was here.
We didn't know ahead of time, we didn't have a problem with fabricating the pipe. You get in some of these remote areas, and this is considered remote areas, even the waterworks district doesn't know where all their pipelines are. So in their defense,
Part of that reason is, this one, I think they bought, personally, I don't think this is their local.
pretty bad.
Yeah. There's several over there in Pear Blossom area, they bought those.
They didn't install them.
They didn't actually start from scratch.
It is frustrating. Yeah, it's just a comment, it's,